Welcome. Today's class is designed to set you up for the day. Wake up every part of your body, feeling ready to conquer the day. Come into child's pose and rest your head on the ground or on the block if your forehead is not touching the mat. Close your eyes. And bringing your gaze inwards and checking in with yourself, maybe noticing any tight areas, anything specific, without any judgments, without any expectations, but with a sense of curiosity. Take a few breaths here, releasing any tension in your back muscles, any tension in your hips. Soften through your face, jaw, and the space in between your eyebrows. Soften your lips. Take a deeper breath and let it fill the space of your back muscles. And exhale as you part your lips open. And start activating your fingers, your arms. Walk your hands to the front edge of the mat, so your elbows lift. Your forearms are lifting off the mat. Press your hands down and rise up onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes, lift the knees into downward facing dog. And especially if this is your first down dog of the day. It is the first inversion. This means your heart is higher than the head. Reversing the blood flow, allowing some fresh blood to come towards the throat, the shoulders, and the face. Gentle movements in downward facing dog. Lifting the heels, bending the knees. And move your hips from side to side. And then find stillness. Downward facing dog, ears between your upper arms, long through your sides, root down through your palms, through every finger. And just for a couple of breaths before we move out of this pose, see how the breath is starting to move its way through your limbs, up your spine and down the backs of your legs. Come high up onto your toes. Look at the space between your hands and step one foot at a time to the front of the mat. Keep your feet hip distance apart. Put a small bend in your knees and interlace your fingers behind your back, folding forward. Relax your head and your neck. Reach your knuckles up towards the sky. This is a great stretch if you feel any tightness in the shoulders and upper back. And then release your arms down to the ground. Let them dangle. Shaking out your head. Maybe any sounds you would like to release. Keep a bend in your knees. Unless you're working with any lower back issues, lift up halfway. And with a long spine, come all the way up. Otherwise, keeping your knees soft. Draw the navel towards the spine, chin to chest. Very slowly start to roll all the way up. And as you come up, stretch your arms all the way above you. Spread your fingers, get super tall. And take your hands to your heart center. Close your eyes for a moment. Nature is your foundation. Whatever is touching the ground, rooting down through your heels, big toe joints, spreading the toes wide, evenly distributing your weight on all four corners of the feet. And as you open your eyes, bring your feet together. Inhale, reach your arms above you. Surya Namaskar A. Exhale, fold forward slowly. Inhale, lift up halfway. Keep this length in your spine. Step back on this first one to plank position. Hold plank. Take an inhale. As you exhale, drop your knees or not. Lower chaturanga. Shift yourself forward. And lower all the way down to the ground. Hands underneath your shoulders. On your inhale, cobra pose. Long neck. All of your 10 toes are pressing down. Exhale, lower down. Walk your hands back so your wrists are underneath your elbows. Lift into upward facing dog. Lift your chest, your thighs, your knees off the mat. Shoulders away from the ears. Inner thighs lifting up towards the sky. At the same time, outer ankles hugging in. And exhale back into downward facing dog. A couple of breaths here in down dog. Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Breathing in through the arms all the way down the legs. Then come high onto your toes. Look forward, step or float. Inhale to lengthen. Fold completely as you exhale. Press into your feet and rise up to standing. Get as much length through your sides as you can. And stay tall as your hands come to your heart. Inhale, reach your arms above you. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your chest up. Step or float, chaturanga. Draw your elbows in and back. Inhale into upward facing dog or cobra pose. Choose your back bend. And exhale back into downward facing dog. And pausing here for 3 long deep breaths. Feeling the energy, the tapas we create with our movement, with our breath. At the end of your exhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward to your hands, step or lightly jump. Inhale as you lengthen and fold to exhale. Then press through your feet and come all the way up to standing. See if you can get a little more space in your upper back this time. And exhale, your hands come to your heart. On your next inhale, bend your knees, circle your arms up into Utkatasana chair pose. And then exhale, fold forward, relaxing your neck. Lengthen your chest up on your inhale. Step or float back, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog, a nice stretch through your sides. And exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg behind you. Rotate your right hip open, bend your right knee. Stretching out the seams of your body, your hips, the quads, and stretch through the waist, all the way through your hip flexors, your quadriceps to your toes. And fully extend that leg behind you. Square your hips, look forward, step your foot through between your hands. Stand your back toes. Come up into crescent lunge. Hook one thumb onto the other so that you can access a little more length through your sides. Put a slight bend into your left knee. Release your tailbone towards the ground. Keep lifting your frontal hip bones towards the ribs while you bend the front knee. From this place, start straightening the left leg maybe a little bit more without losing this length in the spine. Then unhook your thumbs. Look up. Maybe your palms join. And as you exhale, lower your hands back down to the ground. Step right back to plank. Take chaturanga. On your exhale, flip the toes into up dog. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg extends. A few breaths here to open the left hip. Bend the knee and lift it up towards the sky. So when you're doing this and the breath up, those areas of your body that feel a little bit resistant, then fully extend the leg behind you, square your hips, look forward and step the foot all the way through between your hands. Knee over your ankle, coming up into crescent pose. Turn your hips to face the front. Turn your ribs to face the front. Get very long in your sides. Now as you start to lift your chest, hook your thumbs the opposite way. And on your exhale, lower your hands back down to the ground. Step into plank. Lower down chaturanga. Inhale into up dog. On an exhale, back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, shift your body forward into plank position. And pause here. Shoulders right above your wrists. Keep your right hand firmly rooted. Bring your feet together like one big foot. And slowly turn to the outer edge of the right foot into side plank Vashisthasana. If you need to modify the pose, you place your right knee down onto the ground and turn the back foot flat. You can also cross the left foot in front of the right leg. Then externally rotate the top arm, sweep it overhead, and keep drawing your right shoulder blade down away from your ear. If you're in a full variation, really square the hips, square the ribs. Inhale, sweep the left arm up, reaching your fingers with a little bit more energy. And as you exhale, lower your hand down to the ground. Going right into second side. Ground through your left hand, turn to the edge of the left foot. Stack your feet, your legs, your hips, your ribs, your shoulders and arms. You are symmetrical. Then externally rotate your top arm. Sweep it overhead and lengthen. Keep softening out the breath. Extend your right arm up. Exhale, lower the hand down to the ground. Find your way into plank. Lower slowly through Chaturanga. Flip the toes. And come into upward facing dog. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. On your inhale, reach your right leg behind you. Exhale, step your foot through. Turn your back foot flat. Align heel to arch. Make a big circle with the left arm to come up into Warrior Two. Front knee bent above the ankle, directing towards the second, third toe. Externally rotate the right arm. Reverse the warrior. Slide your left hand down. Hold here for a couple of breaths. And come back up into Warrior Two. Keep reaching forwards into extended side angle. Either forearm on thigh or fingertips to the outside of the foot, maybe on a block, which could be a great variation as we want to maintain the integrity of the spine. Externally rotating your left arm and sweep it over your head, reaching through the left side. And keep turning your ribs open, turning the left tricep down towards your face. And then pressing down firmly through your right heel, come back up into Warrior Two, exhale. Circle your hands back down to the ground. Take it through a vinyasa. Inhale into up dog. And exhale back downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg behind you. Exhale, step it through. Align heel to arch. Make your way up into Warrior Two. Pause for a few breaths. Anchor your knee right above the heel. Hug the left hip in and firm your back thigh. Flip the front palm. Reverse the warrior. Slide your right hand down. And then take that length. Rise back up. Shift forward and find your variation of extended side angle pose. Either fingertips down or forearm on a thigh. And pressing down through your left heel to return into Warrior Two. And as you exhale, circle your hands back down to the ground. Step back plank. Slowly through Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg behind you. Exhale, step it through. You're on your back toes. Stay on your fingertips or put your hands onto blocks. Start to straighten your right leg, drawing your right hip back. And rebend your right knee. Inhale, come up into crescent pose. Exhale your hands to heart center. On your next inhale, create more length in your spine. And on your exhale, start to revolve, hooking your left tricep to the outside of your right thigh. The hips are neutral, turning the chest to face the side. And spreading your collarbones wide. You're welcome to do this with your left knee on the ground. So we are starting to get all of the internal organs to wake up. And on your inhale, come back up. On an exhale, lower your hands down to the ground. Step into plank position. Take it through chaturanga on your exhale. Into upward facing dog, inner hands root. Exhale back into downward facing dog. And second side, reach your left leg behind you. Exhale, step it through, staying on your back toes. Use your blocks or stay on your fingertips. Start to straighten your left leg, keeping this length in the spine. And rebend your left knee. Inhale, come up into crescent pose. As you exhale, your hands to heart center. The right tricep to the outside of the left thigh. If you're doing the full variation, which is on the back toes, then square the hips as much as possible. Twist only from your waist up. Spread your collarbones very wide. Pull your sternum bone forward. And then exhale, lower your hands to the ground. Step yourself back into plank position. Ground through your palms. Take an inhale, lower slowly with your elbows by your sides. Come into upward facing dog, nice and long through your spine. And exhale back into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, bend your knees, so look through your hands, step or lightly jump yourself into a seated position. Extend your legs or keep your knees bent for Navasana, boat pose. Some abdominal work before we go into back bends. Fingertips on the ground, holding onto your thighs or reaching forward for a full pose. Turn your inner thighs inwards, broadening your collarbones. On your exhale, lower down into Ardha Navasana. Inhale, lift back up. And exhale, lower. Stay here. Bring your right knee to your chest. Extend your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, lower down. Bring your left knee to your chest. Hold here. Extend your left leg up. And lower down. One more breath here. And hug your knees into your chest. Release your knees. Place your feet down on the ground so that they are hip distance apart. And bring your arms down by your sides. And pressing your heels into the mat. Your knees above the ankles. Your feet parallel. Lift the hips up for bridge pose. Draw your shoulders beneath you, one at a time, and interlace your fingers. Press the arms down to the ground. Keep your inner thighs rolling down and your tailbone reaching over towards your calves. And then stay lifted as you release your arms all the way behind you. And begin to lower down through your upper back muscles, curling your tailbone under, then to your mid-back, and then all the way down to the ground. Now lower your arms back down to your sides. You can go back into bridge pose or even slide a block beneath your sacrum. If you're resting on the block should go right at the sacrum, not the lower back, but right at the base of your spine. And let your hips drop down here. Enjoy the stretch. Close your eyes. If you're going into upward facing bow, make sure that you come lightly onto the crown of your head first. Pin your elbows in towards one another and then press yourself up. If you're doing Urdhva Dhanurasana, continue to draw your inner thighs down. Stay rooted through the inner foot and relax your neck. Ears come in line with your biceps. Take one more breath here. And then bring your chin to your chest and begin to lower yourself down. And if you're on the block, release it slowly. And hug your knees into your chest. Bring the right knee to the right shoulder, and the left knee to the left shoulder. Just take a little rock from side to side. Then release your knees. Shift the hips slightly to the right side. Let your knees drop over to the left side. See if you can draw the collarbones nice and white as you lower your right shoulder down. And come back to center. Shift the hips and drop the knees to the second side. And just start checking in here before we rest. Maybe any parts of your body that still feel any kind of tension. Send the breath into those areas. We want to make sure that you have cleared all the channels of your body before you conquer the day. Come back to center, hug your knees toward your chest. Cross one ankle over the other. And rock yourself up and down a couple of times. Massaging your spine and make your way up to a seated position. And then cross your right shin over your left shin for a double pigeon. Or just keeping your shins parallel to the front edge of the mat for Sukhasana. Fold yourself forward. The beauty of those forward bends that they give us the opportunity to really surrender, to let go, to be present with our thoughts, with our sensations. And then walk yourself back up. Switch the crossing, placing the opposite shin on top for double pigeon or in front. Lengthen and root through your sit bones. And bring your attention to the muscles of your jaw, your throat, your chest, your hips. And then inhale, coming up to center. And extend both legs out in front of you. And as you extend the legs, lengthen through your spine, reach your arms above you. And fold yourself forward, Paschimottanasana. Take your feet or your strap, lengthen your sides and fold into the pose. Inhale, come all the way up. And sit into any comfortable position. Sit where you can access a nice tall spine. Rest your hands facing up on your knees as a gesture of being open and receptive to whatever the day will offer us today. Close your eyes and give yourself a moment to really sit with your breath. Just sit in a space of stillness. A space of presence and mindfulness. Very gently start to make your way back, noticing sounds, sensations. And join your hands together at the center of your chest. Taking some moments here to acknowledge our effort on the mat, our commitment to growth, to show up, to create the space, the physical space. Through the physical space, mental and emotional space. Namaste.